And of course, even though she couldn't make it, they are a personification that bipartisanship is alive and well in America. I'm particularly thankful to my friend and my mentor, Michael Bloomberg, who just demonstrated to us again today how incredible an impact one human being can have. You know, Michael, I've often said that a person cannot be great if they're not good, and my friend, you are both. And I want to thank you for the commitment that you've made to the people of America. To all of my fellow mayors that were able to stay with us, and that has become the mayors that are making America great again. I really think that you're doing an incredible job, and I look forward to your leadership, and I thank you for serving all of us in the years to come.
Let's say hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down, y'all.
Hunker down.
Hunker down. Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Okay, so hi everybody, welcome to Hunker Downcast. This is episode, I think, number 34, which is,
No song, we can't even do songs anymore. There's no 34 song.
Nope.
Do your homework, y'all.
There's only being 34 years old.
Which none of us is. I am 43, though. That's the closest. Are you 43?
I'm going to be 43 in 2 weeks.
Oh.
So, I guess we should start planning the party now.
Sure.
Yeah.
You always make such a big deal of your birthday.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I remember your 40th. So, oh man, that was like a Mardi Gras thing.
It was. Yeah. It was. I haven't recovered yet, and I think that's why the subsequent parties have been.
It was amazing that you got a float.
Yeah.
A float?
The fireworks were expensive too.
Yeah, for his birthday. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was remembering the elephant that carried him in.
Yeah, it was a mammoth, really.
It was.
It was an extinct elephant.
It was the last one. They found one, and then we had that, and then we slaughtered it and ate it for dinner. So that
Fricassee. That was good.
It was delicious. The tenderloin was my favorite part.
Right.
And I liked the head cheese we made out of it for later.
Yeah, the cheeks were good. The cheeks were good too.
I guess it's good that we're here because some of us have internet. I think that what happened to me today is that I didn't get all of my cocks back or something. And
you're over your data limit.
That must be what happened.
Yeah.
So the residual part of the Cox outage is I can't get on the Wi-Fi at Allie's house.
Or it's because the Russians paid me to block your computer.
Maybe so.
I also heard it was racist trying to sabotage Essence.
Oh, was it?
The power outage, I heard.
Probably.
But, what was I going to say? People have been telling us, and maybe Tim and them can fill us in on this, that our last episode was something crazy good, which I'd like to get y'all's feedback on that. What did y'all think of episode 33? The Rolling Rock episode.
I thought you already got the feedback from it, and now you're asking for more feedback on it. Now
I'm thinking, I'm rephrasing it, and was it one of our best ever, if not the best ever?
Okay.
Holla back at us.
Okay.
I thought it was one of our best ever.
Okay. Well, Tim and them, holla back at us, and with any feedback, really.
Well, this one's off to a scintillating start, I might add.
Yeah, we've already gotten meta. We're just being really boring and low-key and drinking these Miller Lights and talking about the internet. So,
yeah.
Exactly the kind of content that you all tune in to listen to.
So that's what everybody pays for. Right?
Well, they should know also that Allie made some ramen for us, and it was delightful and good, and it has mellowed me the fuck out like any good hearty soup should do. Gets right in there and, puts you on the couch. And the couch.
Well, okay. So since we're all going to sleep right now, I think we probably should just jump right into the show.
Because, let's do the show.
Okay. It's Essence Weekend.
Yep.
And when we come out of Essence Weekend, we go to July 4th, and so nobody's in town right now, or nobody's paying attention to anything right now. But
Why aren't they in town though?
People
To go to the beach because it's a long weekend.
Is that why?
Yeah,
It's not because of Essence.
it's because it's a long weekend
Oh,
and people go out of town for long weeks.
Oh,
so
that's what I meant. Everybody's
you're
on
an
vacation
Essence
for-
protest denier. You're denying that people close for Essence.
No, I think some people do, but I think that's not why everybody leaves. I think
Interesting. How convenient.
a lot of people go out of town because it's a long weekend and it's the summer.
Don't you think maybe they would be afraid to do that because it would make them look racist?
I didn't know about Essence before I moved here, so like I think this is just a national weekend for going to the beach or spending time at a lake or at your cousin's house or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, for those of us who don't work in the tourism industry anymore or downtown, we kind of think of this as like the holiday weekend, and so everybody we know and work with is going out of town for the weekend. So
Well, there's a
it seems
huge
like-
fucking deal. There's a huge thing about being closed for Essence.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
denying that. I'm just saying that like
But you never can tell. I know last year Walk-On's pipes burst or
Oh.
something and they had to close.
I remember
And for like a day straight, maybe 48 hours, they were getting fucking reamed for on the internet for being closed for Essence. And come to find out, their pipes broke. I don't know if that's the official story. I don't know. They might have been just fucking racist. That's the thing about this weekend. You never know. It's a microcosm of America, basically. It's like, were you doing that just for like benign reasons, or were you doing that just because you're racist as fuck?
I mean, you bring all that up, and I don't remember having seen that happen this year, which is this is the first year in a number of years that we haven't gone through the
It's because the
close
monuments
for
got taken
Essence
down.
thing. You think so? Because it's
Yeah,
the
it's gotta
monuments.
be. I don't know how,
And-
but it has to do with that probably.
Like,
All
there's
right.
nobody's in the mood to go looking for possible,
Right, yeah, it's like prejudice fatigue or something like that.
or it's just out in the open, so you don't have to go uncover it in a
Everybody
restaurant's
knows
hours.
now.
Yeah, right.
If Walk-Ons was for saving the monuments, then pretty sure don't go there for Essence because they're not going to be open.
Okay.
Although, I don't know why. It's a fucking great crowd. They got fucking
Walk-ons?
tons of money and shit.
Oh, you mean Essence?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about walk-ons as
Yeah.
a great crowd. No, okay.
I mean, you got to go to the fucking show. You got to fly in, get you a hotel room. Takes a bunch of money, man.
I mean, you got to come in and go to the empowerment seminar and
Yeah.
the
Their outfits are fucking fly as
You
fuck.
hear-
All of them. Jewelry, flowing gowns and shit. It's
and you
awesome.
get to hear all these great inspirational speeches from like Soledad O'Brien and the CEO of Wal Mart spoke yesterday.
He did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he black?
No.
Oh.
And so everybody.
What the
was really,
fuck was he here for?
He was talking about how great and woke Walmart is. You know, that's
Is Soledad O'Brien black? She's like Ben Kingsley.
she's a person of color. I don't remember how or what her specific thing is.
But I just thought it was really neat that you get to hear from Walmart, who's a sponsor of Essence. Also, McDonald's is a sponsor of Essence, and you know how really progressive a company McDonald's is. They they're really forward thinking with minimum wage and stuff like that.
Oh,
Things
yeah,
that
yeah,
really
yeah.
empower disenfranchised people of color all over the country. So it's good to see that their voices are being heard here at Essence Fest.
I wonder what the fuck they talked about.
The CEO of Walmart talked about how they're looking to bring in more American-made goods to their product line, which is
How do you know this?
I read it in the paper.
It was in the paper?
Yes.
The paper. He called the internet the paper. You didn't fucking sit back on your chair and flip it out and hold it in front of your face.
No, I did. I read.
You read it in a printed edition of the Times Figure.
The
You
Advocate.
fucking-
I totally did.
Fuck off.
I did.
I just can't believe you're still asking Jeff questions like, "How do you know this?"
Well, like,
Of
because
course, it's because he read it. He reads everything.
Well, what I was thinking is that maybe he's just such a fucking nerd that he like went to the Essence website and like listened to what the speeches were and shit like.
Well, I will tell you that I also went to the Essence website and
I did too.
and saw a list of their speakers. And there's a section of their website which is fun because it's called Woke Wonderland, which can mean a lot of things. But but you can also, if you're on social media and on Instagram or on Twitter and you hashtag something Woke Wonderland, you may get your
Retweeted?
you may be placed on their website, so that would be fun.
I can't think of a single tweet that I would hashtag Woke Wonderland.
Well, it depends. I mean, like, from what I could tell...
Episode 34 of Hunger Downcast.
Woke
Woke Wonderland.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Walking in a woke wonderland.
Yesterday, we might as well get this out of the way right now. Yesterday, they, the organizers of Essence awarded Mayor Landrieu the honorary Woke Award.
And it's weird that it's an honorary one because it lends itself to think that there is a traditional woke award.
I thought, like, if you hadn't completed your coursework in the woke curriculum...
An honorary doctorate of woke letters.
That's right.
Good job, Mitch.
What they said was, said being woke is defined as being aware of social problems in the community.
That's it?
Yep.
So you don't even have to agree
Ain't gotta
with
do shit about them.
Right.
You just have to be aware that they exist.
God, man, we all qualify for that award, don't we?
So yeah,
what's going on over there? It appears to be a protest. Okay, you're aware of the social problem.
Woke is a low bar, and that's why, like, it's a double-edged term. It's used. It's become a thing that's been used very, like, ironically. I mean, you know this, like
I've hated on it for like 2 years now.
Most of usually to describe someone who is not really sincere about social change. They just want to give the appearance of it.
Yeah, I think mostly it was a thing that millennials could do to call to. It was they had like Columbus it kind of like. People had been like fucking socially involved for years, but the millennials came along, gave it a word called woke, and made it seem like suddenly it was something that was happening just recently that they were suddenly doing.
I don't know if that's the exact etymology.
Well, you're not woke on woke.
I'm probably not.
I need one of those.
Ears? Yeah.
No, what I was going to say was, when I was growing up, we had a book about the etymology of weird words, and we would, like, take it on vacation with us so that we could, like, if we had a dispute over where a particular, like, provenance of some word or phrase came from, we could look it up in this book. I think it was called A Hog on Ice.
Hog on Ice?
Yeah.
Jamoke was in there?
No.
Right.
But like, we used to also take the dictionary with us on vacation, again, to settle disputes. So is that a word that is Greek in origin or Latin? Like shit like that.
I can say this.
Sounds fun.
When we went,
well, the internet replaced all that. So.
When we would go on family vacations when we were kids, I would have loved to have a dictionary handy to settle disputes with my brother in the backseat of the car. I mean, if he just gets out of line, you just take that thing and that would have just...
well, you could have had Bartlett's quotations to do that.
Yeah. Usually,
you could have had War and Peace. You didn't need a dictionary.
Any book, but...
Just something to swat them with. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking like the big... that dictionary right there on the shelf. The American Heritage Dictionary.
Allie right now is pointing at a very large hard-covered book in a bookshelf on her shelf. You know what you should have hit your fucking brother with? The entire volume of the OED.
Sure.
There's a version of it where all the print's real small, and they give you a magnifying glass with it. So you can get like all the volumes of the OED for like, I don't know, $1,500 or whatever. Or you can get a smaller version where you have to like read it with a magnifying glass. And it comes with a little drawer where you can put the magnifying glass. It's pretty cool. Now it's all just online.
The internet ruins everything.
It does.
But packing for family vacations is a lot easier now.
It is. You just bring your phone and all your chargers.
Yep.
Mayor Landrieu, woke as fuck.
Yeah, so, okay.
Oh,
Mitch,
the reason I brought it up was because I wish that there was a modern version of that book that I could look up, like, who actually, made woke a thing.
wasn't that what the Urban Dictionary's for? And, like the know your meme and stuff like that?
I think sometimes it is, but sometimes, like, you want to know, and I guess they do this with Google Trends, like how many times people are searching for a particular word, so you can see, like, when it, like meme, for example.
Yeah.
Like, when did memes become a thing? But I think it would be nice to know, like, because was it millennials who started talking about woke? Was it the black community? Like, who actually owns this concept? And, like, not compared to where it is now, but like what was the original intent of this? this
I
thing.
don't know, but I'm sure.
Am I the only one who thinks about shit like that?
No, I totally do.
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm sure there's shirts being sold that say woke as fuck or woke or stay woke or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking probably that was the point of the whole fucking thing anyways. Like when they started selling punk and they started selling anti-establishment shit, that then when I saw woke and I started hearing it as slang, I was like, oh, this is another one of them taking this sort of social construct and making it a thing that they could put on koozies and put on shirts.
Well, everything becomes that eventually, and I think that what's happened is, you get to the age where you can skip the steps of it becoming that and
just
see
go
it
straight
as that.
to
As soon as, I see what you're saying.
Well, I hate that fucking shit.
Yeah,
you know why I hate about it? Is because it is something that one individual person who knows how woke that motherfucker is. You ain't got to be woke to call somebody woke. You could be fucking ignorant as fuck about any number of things. That's what's up. And holla at somebody about how they ain't woke.
Okay.
And then that person just has to be sitting there and go, "Oh God, am I not woke?"
What is the nature of wokeness?
What does it mean?
It means.
That fucking.
It means displaying an awareness of social problems.
I would imagine that Mitch is woke because Essence told him he was.
I regret not doing enough of my homework to going insofar as to watch the video of this, because then I would actually know what the woke award looks like.
I would love to know that.
Is it a medal? Is it
eyes? Two eyes wide open.
Is it a paperweight, or is it something?
Is it a pair of glasses that look like that Calvin and Hobbes strip where he cut a ping pong ball in half and used a Sharpie to color the eyeballs on it so that he could sleep, but put the ping pong ball halves over his eyes.
Always
and look really attentive in class.
Stay woke.
He stayed woke.
That's what I would really like the award to be, is just like a pair of glasses that make you look super awake even if you're sleeping behind them.
And stay woke is a phrase that suggests that possibly you would lapse in your wokeness. Yeah. One day you would just be like, I don't really care. That's actually fucking true. That could happen.
It's almost like an endorsement of paranoia or
everywhere.
Yeah,
they're coming to get you.
You have to be ready.
Not Mitch though.
So
we're not being very speedy right now, guys.
I know that's what I'm trying to
say. Speed round always fucking goes slow.
So it's called the sandbag round.
So
actually.
Here's what we're trying.
We can't blame Jeff this time though, because
we hadn't started the speed round.
No,
he usually hems and
he hasn't kicked it off.
We're trying
and
to.
We try and move on, and Jeff's like, I have another thing actually.
Yeah, but before we do, he always stops us. We're like, no, it's over, Jeff. Go, stop.
Okay, Jeff.
Bully him down. No, we don't want to hear that shit. It's always good what you say. Also, I'm always like, I'm glad we didn't just.
Okay, Jeff. So here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Because Mitch is coming back from his woke sabbatical to give us to deliver finally his State of the City address on I think next Wednesday, or was it next Thursday? Whatever the 6th is. He's had it delayed twice. It was delayed because of the tropical storm, and it was delayed because of the Scalise shooting. It was that day. So he's set to do it on the 6th. So unless something else crazy happens, like somebody else attacks the Entergy plant or something on that day, or Cox goes down again, or there's an amoeba somewhere, he's going to get up and give his long anticipated State of the City address.
So that's when we'll find out that the state that the city is in is Louisiana.
Yes.
Okay.
State of the City it's always weird to me. There's never a state of the address. Is there?
There is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? State of the state?
Yep.
Oh man, that's awkward.
You got to know what state you're in.
Yeah.
Are you
what the state of your state is?
Right. How woke is the city?
Yeah,
how
it seems
woke is
wokish.
the state? Yeah.
Well, and I'll give you a little hint, Farg. The state of the state and the state of the city and the state of the nation is always just fine.
Yeah, we're looking good.
We're
on the other side. We're rounding the curve.
Any shit that is shit is way back there, and we are moving forward.
Motherfuckers are getting murdered pretty badly, but hey.
Nope, that is all in the past. So, the state of our state is legit. They will never, ever get up in front of that microphone and be like, guys, things are kind of shitty right now. They will never say it.
Dude, the day they do that, that is going to be... Like, I'm voting for that guy.
Right?
I'm trying to think of, that to get votes is the only reason to do that.
Well, I will say, you know what? I think Trump might actually try some of that shit. He might get up there and be like, God, the state of our union, it's awful. It's just terrible. It's just terrible.
Terrible, yeah.
Oh, God, no,
it's very bad. It's very bad.
It'll be...
Chicago, murder.
No. Psycho Joe and Crazy Mika.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see this guy? Folks, did you see it? Did you see... Oh, you can't watch the TV these days. I mean, that'll be stuff like that.
Yeah, all these women, and they're bleeding. It's terrible. Yeah,
so, now
but anyway.
We're off track again. What I thought we would do for the speed round, so we could get through the speed round this time, would be to treat it as our State of the City address ahead of Mitch's. So we could just kind of go through some of the topics that might be in Mitch's speech and maybe talk a few of them over real quick. So I'm going to throw some stuff out here that I've kind of written down over the last couple weeks, and then we'll just kind of go with it.
I'm going to try and craft beautiful one-liners to complement your topics. That's my goal.
I anticipate. I'm looking forward to this.
All right.
So the first one that we know that he's probably going to talk about is crime. And
why would he talk about that? It fucking sucks.
Because it's
because he wants to push shit through.
He wants to display awareness of a social problem.
Wokeness.
He wants to be woke about it, and he's already given us a preview of this during the presser for, I believe, the tropical storm. He brought with him a picture of Breonna Allen, who is the little girl who was shot in the a couple years ago with this big prosecution they're doing with the Melf Mafia. I don't know if you
I don't know about that.
She was on in Central City on
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, on 3rd Street.
Which shot toddler was this?
There's been
several.
This is one of the shot children. Anyway, he was kind of like he was going to bring that as a prop to his. He brought it to the hurricane speech, but I feel like he was going to bring it to the State of the City address. He made
an image of her.
Mm-hmm. And
what does she have to do with the hurricane?
Well, nothing. But he wanted to just wanted to say how serious that is, just in the middle of that going on, because again they had bumped his speech, and he may never get a chance to show you this photograph. It's a thing that he's been talking about a lot, like this particular case, these federal prosecutions of this particular group of guys. I found out recently that Mitch's brother is one of the lead prosecutors, or was one of the lead prosecutors in one of these cases, and that's one reason that he probably has like a special interest in it.
Which brother?
Maurice.
Oh.
So.
Damn, there's so many of those.
So many Landrius.
Yeah.
There's so many Landrius. But anyways, like Mitch wants to talk about how much he cares about the crime problem, and we've already talked about his responses to.
I'm sure he does care about it. Like, I would like to at least start with the good faith that he does care.
I hate when you do this. I hate when we have to pretend that the people who are in politics actually care about things, but.
Yeah, but some of them do.
Local politics is easier than the guys in Washington, for sure. I think once you get into Washington, you're fully into the machine, whereas local guys are...
He's the mayor of his hometown. I mean, you gotta think that, like, people who are the mayor of their hometown generally give a shit about people getting shot in it.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to give a shit about people getting shot in your hometown when there's, like, 200 of them a year. You know, at some point... Like, I got a fucking piece that I'm making for our 4th of July show at the gallery, and I took, like, the murders that had happened up until that date, which was 97, and I made, like, a little image of each one. It's fucking a lot. Like, by the fucking 40th or 50th one, I was like, Jesus, I'm still fucking carving these motherfuckers, you know? After a while, you know, you just see man shot on fucking 2nd Avenue, and you just, you can't help but be fucking desensitized to it. And if you're the mayor and you got all kinds of other fucking shit going on too, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you...
I don't know a single person who's affected by every last one of them.
I don't think that desensitized is the word that we have. I mean, I don't think anybody's desensitized to it. There's too much of it. It's like, I mean, it does dominate the news every day. and I wouldn't want to belittle it as an issue. I don't like the way that Mitch, and we talked about this last time. We talked about Mitch and Cannizzaro and their brutal way of attacking the problem, where it's always it's almost Trump-like, and it's
from the morality angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as what he'll say about it, I'm sure he will point to like what he is doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, because that's the point of the speech, right? Is that this is a problem. I know it's a problem. Here's what I'm doing about it. We're going to do more.
Right, and so
that's the whole point.
And so the things he's doing about it are, the infamous French Quarter security plan, and the things that we learned about having to do with the monuments that I wanted to bring up were.
But I'm sorry.
He hired a private security firm to keep track of both sides of the.
So they
protest.
say both sides.
Well, they say that, right? So who knows what they were doing, right?
Right. Because their invoices were really shitty, and in some cases they were paid before the date on the invoice.
Right,
so,
right.
Thank you, as always, Lee Zurik, for your efforts in uncovering this bullshit.
Yeah, and I think more has to be. They have to keep on that.
I want to know more about that for sure.
Because
when I was back in my consulting days, if I had ever tried to submit an invoice like that, they would not have paid it. They would have sent it back, and I might have gotten fired for even trying to send an invoice that shitty. I mean, it was
there were
unbelievable.
These line items for Bob, several hours of consulting or whatever, surveillance, whatever it was, and there was no description of what he did, and it was just, and then here is the giant sack of money that we gave Bob, and there's no other information about who that is or whatever.
Right.
Well, he went undercover, put himself a little baseball cap on, and a fucking frying pan on his chest, and got himself a Confederate flag and went undercover, man. Well, probably LARPed with him.
They did say that. They said specifically infiltrate groups, but they said groups
the Dixie
on,
LARPers.
And they did say on both sides originally, and then everybody complained about that, and their response was, "Oh, well, we didn't spy on local people," which I don't know what they mean by that. I mean, it could be
outside agitators.
I don't know.
The dudes that drove in from Arkansas with the little fucking frying pans on their head and shit. Mm-hmm. The Dixie LARPers.
The only other thing I could possibly bring up here was I noticed that the Advocate had a guest column by a guy named Wayne Ducote, and he was complaining that one of the incidents that happened in the French Quarter happened on his front steps, and he was so mad that it's time for us to just do some common sense things.
That's what happens. See, when it happens close to your house or to someone you know, then people do get all, whoa, this crime, yeah.
And it was, he said specifically,
it's like the Republicans who think that health insurance is an important thing once they become uninsured and then they get sick.
Or that there's fucking wackos out there because of the political climate and one of their guys gets shot.
That's right. It's whenever a thing happens to you. Mm-hmm. That's when it's time to care about what's going on.
It's totally normal, though.
Yeah,
that's
but
how people work.
I know, but well,
people out there fucking get cirrhosis of the liver, but then when you do it, you'll be like, Jesus Christ, I gotta quit drinking. You're not gonna quit drinking just because your buddy gets cirrhosis of the liver. You're gonna quit drinking when you get cirrhosis.
Yeah, but I care about my buddy and his cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Tiny American flags for some, forced gay abortions for others.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Forced gay abortions.
Wayne Ducote, his version of what the common sense thing we have to do is we need to get rid of the consent decree because it was handcuffing our police officers.
Oh, right. Yeah. They have too many restrictions on them right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
can't do a thing that they need to do to keep us safe.
He didn't say profiling. He didn't use that word, but he said he said they know the suspicious characters in the quarter.
They are so good at that.
They are.
That's one thing the cops do better than anybody is find them suspicious characters. They can just spot them. They look wrong.
He literally used the term suspicious characters.
Well,
and I thought immediately of Confederacy of Dunces when they were after you're going to bring us a suspicious character in here, Mancuso, and they would put him in this costume.
Yeah, totally. It is a cop term though.
I did. I thought of Vincent Adult Man from BoJack Horseman, the 3 kids in a trench coat with a broom for an arm. You know,
that's a suspicious character.
Yeah, because they tell you, when you're looking, like they're like, look around. Is it hot outside? Well, then why is that man wearing an overcoat? Things like that.
Yoo-hoo! Buy me a drink.
Okay.
What's your name, stud?
Vincent. Adult man. Vincent Adult Man.
You hear that, BoJack? Vincent is an adult, and I'll bet he knows how to treat a lady.
He very clearly isn't and doesn't.
Would you like alcohol?
I certainly would, you sophisticated, smooth talker. Tell me all about you.
I like business. Transactions?
Are you seriously trying to make me jealous by flirting with what is very obviously just 3 kids stacked on top of each other under a trench coat?
Vinny, what does a guy like you do for fun?
I don't have time for these shenanigans. I got a wedding to Shanghai. Good luck with your business transactions.
Thanks.
That's how you know the suspicious ones.
So this obviously unhinged dude gets this really high profile guest column in the.
So he's Johnny's buddy or something.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what it was, and it turns out, he's like John George's business partner.
Okay, yeah.
And so, well, that's why they did that.
And you can only wonder what that conversation was like when he called him and was just like, John, I think you need to get me in the paper, man. I got something I got to say. Okay. What's his name? Ducote?
Wayne Ducote. And and I can also imagine what everybody in the newsroom has to hold their tongue about it, and there it goes.
Some editor,
right?
Farrier / tinker / somebody.
Next topic.
Allie says we got to move on, so we do.
We do.
The next thing, State of the City, Part 2. It was revealed recently that the city of New Orleans and really the whole of South Louisiana is sinking 50% faster than was last predicted, I guess. So
we're doomed.
We suck.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make this fun at all. The
good news is that we're all gonna die a little bit quicker than we thought.
Nothing was gonna stop that.
I guess the reason that I wanted to throw this in with
besides Louisiana sinking is not gonna kill anybody. Only people it's not gonna kill anybody. People are just gonna have to move. It's gonna be a huge pain in the ass. It's actually fine.
It's not actually fun.
It'll be fine. Look, the shit's gonna happen. Nobody's gonna die. Everyone's just gonna have to move and be poor and shit.
Not everybody can move, and we'll get storms that will be worse and exacerbated by the fact that we've sunk more than we thought we were sinking.
They'll be like, we thought we were at 3 feet elevation. We're actually at 2 feet elevation.
Right.
It'll be a thing that exacerbates the actual political inequalities that exist now. And so it's not a thing that will be fine. It'll be a thing that makes the current problem worse because
instead of spending money on rebuilding a marsh, we're going to spend it building a levee to go around a chemical plant.
Exactly.
Y'all are, hold on. That is not necessarily going to happen.
That is what is happening currently. I don't want to get too pessimistic about it, but the reason that I wanted to bring it up as part of the State of the City is that we're going to hear, about all of his wonderful accomplishments in his term as mayor, and about how the city's up and coming, and it's a destination city, and everybody's really he's going to say some nice things about what the world thinks of New Orleans, and the reality is that the city is not going to be here in another 100 years. So it's just this cognitive dissonance that goes on just constantly with.
So he's sleeping on that.
I don't know if he's sleeping.
He's not woke.
But it's
as far as coastal restoration goes.
It's almost like it's a collective delusion that we all have to buy into to maintain any semblance of normalcy.
Well, our Republican senator needs to be shot. Basically, there's something that has to happen. There has to be this event that has to occur. I thought maybe Katrina was it, but clearly it wasn't. Some other fucking horrible thing has to happen.
I mean, the problem is that it's all happening in slow motion, and it's happening slow enough that you can't actually identify that it's really happening. And so we can all kind of collectively decide to not pay attention to it right now.
Right, and I think that's the real problem is that we live with this hyper-normalization. We're living in this this tense denial of when really we should be doing the kind of politics that solves these problems. I mean, it's possible to do this stuff, but it's not. It needs to happen faster. And what it gives me the biggest headache is watching people and watching everybody pretend that everything is fine. Not to jump on you. I mean, I'm not jumping on you.
You don't pretend, because right now everything is fine. If you're going to live another 30 years, then you fucking go and you die. And that's that. You're just another fucking cog in the fucking wheel. You're a data point and a huge, vast data point of things that are fucking happening.
But
the state of the city is that we're all just dust. Good night.
I mean, do you really think that right now that we can go out and form grassroots groups that are going to save the fucking levees? Or when they save the fucking wetlands? This whole fucking thing that's already in motion is clearly going to happen, that you've just clearly said that in 100 years ago the city's going to be gone. Do you think that we're going to go out there right now and stop all of it?
I mean, but people are doing that.
Do I think that
you know that, right? I mean, like, there are a lot of people organizing around this exact issue. There are people working on it at state, local, and federal levels of government. There are grassroots people organizing around this. It is an issue that a lot of people care about. It's just that even though all of that is happening, we are still operating like at normal, like we are not operating as if it is a crisis. Right. And it is a crisis.
And the way to weight the crisis in your direction is to organize and agitate. And you're asking, well, are they going to fix it? I'm not an optimist. I mean, I don't feel like, oh, well, definitely people can just come together and we'll fix the problem. But I don't think you have a choice. Like, if you believe in anything, you should participate in doing the most you can to argue for the correct response. That's all I'm saying. And that's really all I'm ever going to say about it. But like, what I can't abide is pretending that we should be proud of the corrupt, decrepit system that is grinding people into the dirt and just allowing things to fall apart to the advantage of the few. And there has to be a better way of dealing with that. That's my soapbox thing about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, what's the next topic?
Okay, next thing. Housing. I don't know if he's going to say a whole lot about it. Maybe he will.
He'd be dumb to do it.
It's becoming a bigger thing.
Wait, housing in the place that's fucked is getting more expensive.
Yes.
Okay. Here's this place that's fucked, and then here's $250,000 home that you fucking need a 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
$250,000. That'd be cheap.
I think that Mitch will talk about it in some way, because he wants to be someone who is aware of the social problems. But I don't know. I mean, he's going to be very positive. He's going to talk about the things that remember last year he came out with his little plan that hasn't really gone very far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came out with his own plan. The mayor's office came out with their own plan, even after Housing NOLA came out.
Right.
It was like, why do you need a second plan when we have this plan? Honestly, I think if housing comes up, it'll be to talk about our success with the Airbnb regulations. And you know, how we're the first in the nation to combine our tourism economy with this, you know, we're forward thinking and we embrace technology and all of that kind of shit.
Wait, the first in the nation to do what?
To craft regulations that balance tourism with our love of our neighborhoods or whatever.
Huh.
When they passed the
doesn't feel like that.
When they passed when they passed the set of the regulations last year, the city trumpeted it as a first of its kind.
The French Quarter full house.
What do you mean by that?
The Airbnb, you can't rent a full house in the French Quarter. That's it.
The whole package of
the whole package of regulations they passed last year.
Oh, I didn't know there was anything more than.
Yeah, it was like there's
a
permitting and licensing regime now, and where you have to pay in to do it, and there's which ostensibly funds the enforcement mechanism.
Oh, okay.
And they have like limitations on the number for each block, and they have different categories based on the zoning.
The Airbnb people who are against it just sold the whole fucking thing as a huge loss, and that it's completely fucking sucked.
It's because the platforms haven't taken it seriously, and so it actually isn't working right now.
And also the way it's written, it's slanted in a way that it's advantageous toward people who want to operate short-term rentals as like houses as hotels in neighborhoods. And that's, I mean, you can see the results of that is that a lot of them are opening all over town. The Lens and the Advocate have been tracking all of the permits that have gone, through the system since the city began tracking them on their website and making the data available. And if you just look at the maps of them, they're they're all over town. They're just dots of permitted Airbnbs now.
I mean, like a couple thousand of them. Yeah,
it's approaching what the worst of the estimates were. I mean, remember before, when there was no agreed upon data available, there were these groups saying, well, yeah, there's 4,000 or 5,000 of them, and it's not quite there yet, but it's close to it. It's a lot closer to it than the proponents of the regulations said it would ever be.
Right.
So it's taken a lot of housing off of the market and dedicated towards tourism, and the city is selling this as a success. And they're selling it as a success in the sense that Allie was talking about earlier, because it's it's a first of the kind. It's innovative. We had this cooperative approach with the platforms, with the Airbnb, with Vrbo, or whatever the other groups,
HomeAway or whatever.
HomeAway.
Yeah.
And we got them to agree to work with us, and blah 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 blah. And almost immediately, like Times-Picayune reported on there being Airbnb not taking down listings that are illegal, even though they agreed to as part of it, the deal.
But they put a loophole in it, which is that if you've applied for the permit, then you can leave it up. So you can get rejected and just continually apply for a permit and leave it up, and they're technically within compliance.
Oh, I didn't realize that was that's terrible.
Yeah.
So that kind
never
of
actually have to get it.
They
or keep applying.
As long as you've applied, they don't have to yank it down.
I read a thing this week about Barcelona, where there's also these European cities are having a worse time of it. Yeah, they're having a worse time of it than we are. But Barcelona and Venice especially,
is like the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, for sure.
But
also with sinkage issues too. Couple different ways there are sister city.
But Barcelona has been extremely aggressive in their going after Airbnb, and they've got this huge fine regime that they've got in place, and they've passed these really tough laws. And the article I read last week was the Airbnb executives own property in Venice, and they're violating the law, even though they claim to kind of want to cooperate and stuff. So you can't trust these people, and you can't pretend like you're a partner with them. That's what I hate about what the whole Landrieu ethic is. We're gonna partner with these private companies and pretend that they have your interest at heart, just like we do, like your elected representatives do. And it's not that very often is not the case, and it's it shouldn't be assumed that that's the case. And
I think a lot of this is mindset related too, in the fact that I remember in the post-Katrina years, early on, people were really worried about being seen as parochial and backwards and a few steps behind the rest of the country, and we're slow to keep up with everybody else on trendy shit. And it was a real people were stressed out about this, we're never gonna get developers to live here and make apps, or we're everywhere else is a good burger place, we don't have any burgers, just random
what
stuff.
Are we gonna do?
And
Trader Joe's, when are we gonna get a Trader Joe's in New Orleans?
And
hey,
honestly,
shut up,
and I think
stop, don't fuck with Trader Joe's.
It's the same kind of
Good job.
It's from this same almost little brother complex that
Absolutely.
we have. And I think that you can see that in a lot of city leadership decisions that have been made over the last few years, because they're my favorite example is with the Costco. Costco wanted to set up shop here. They knew this was going to be a great market, but we were we got the fish on the line, and we were so excited that we were no, just come in. We're going to do this whole streets project, and we're going to give you all these deals, and we're going to make it so good and nice. And they're kind of really? That's usually people want us to do more than that. And so that's why we have this terrible shitty parking lot out there. We don't have any we didn't make them change their facade or the siding or massing or stormwater or anything.
That parking lot does suck.
It's terrible.
There's a fucking interstate exit straight through the motherfucker.
That whole intersection doesn't make any sense.
Well, and they did that because
except for that guy on drums.
They did that to make it easier for people from Jefferson Parish to come to the Costco.
Oh, God. Why didn't they get one?
Well,
it's a perfect place for a Costco.
It's mostly built out. It's actually kind of
done. Like LA.
Anyway,
New York.
Perfect example of we overplayed our hand.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've done that so many times, and Airbnb is a perfect example of this. We overplayed our hand because we were so desperate to look cool in front of our tech bros that, like, we didn't ask for anything with teeth.
And I got to tell you, that is, like...
You could have used Donald Trump down here sorting that shit out for us.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to say something about that in just 1 second. That first of all, is a thing that has been a New Orleans thing for as long as I've been alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it predates Katrina times. You grow up with these people who think that everything we do is wrong and backward, and we need to, like, be more like the rest of the country in ways that are shitty. And even though they don't know that it's shitty, like they think that the way to prove that we're better, or that we're like keeping up with the Joneses, is to have the Costco and like give them what they want,
to rally it up,
right? That kind of a thing. It's just like this huge inferiority complex.
Costco's great, but like we could have like dictated some terms to them,
right?
They wanted to be here.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm not saying we shouldn't have these things. I'm just saying that New Orleans has this like serious inferiority complex that makes us vulnerable to that kind of thinking, and we saw it. Also, another good example of that is the little mall on Claiborne in Washington, with the TJ Maxx and the what was the other stuff they put there? But they gave them
Marshalls and the Ulta and all of that.
Which that is a stupid ass fucking parking lot too.
Well, they give those people, it is. They give those people a crazy like tax break that they didn't need.
They did TIF to build it.
Right.
Yeah. That shopping center has the highest sales taxes maybe in the entire country.
Yeah, it probably does.
Like, I think it's probably 10.25%.
Right, and they're just anyway. The other example of this is just a couple years after Katrina, Donald Trump wanted to build a Trump Tower right on Poydras Street.
It was in development before Katrina.
It was going to be the tallest building in the city, and they were ready to.
Right there by the Queen and Crescent.
Everything was
on Poydras.
Everybody was so excited to just give Donald Trump whatever he wanted to put his building in there. And
it was one of the cranes. What's his name's cranes? That was going to be one of them.
Blakely.
Yeah,
and I think that it even predated Blakely. I mean, like you said,
it did. It was before the storm. They had announced it.
But when City Council approved it, Stacey Head was on the council, so this was definitely after Katrina, because I remember the quote from Stacey Head being, "What are we even waiting for? This is Trump. Woohoo!" I have to find that article and put it in the show notes, but it's like I'll never forget that.
I wonder if she's regretting that these days.
I think she's regretting a lot of things these days.
She's regretting being a politician. She can't wait to get the fuck out.
Yeah, she's ready to go.
I don't know about that. I think she's going to run for a state office at some point. I don't.
She's regretting being a city politician.
I don't think so.
She thought she was going to be mayor someday, but that's just out the window completely. And there may be a state district she could. Where does she live? Does she live in Neil Abramson's district?
I would vote for Stacey over Neil in a heartbeat.
Well, no, but Neil
friend of the show.
Neil is term limited. He's going to try and jump to the Senate. Stacey might be able to run in that district. I'd have to find out if she lives in that district or not. But anyway, I think that she wants to move on, and we could have a whole other Stacey Head conversation. I don't want to get too bogged down in it, but I think a lot of things that you see her doing right now this year on the council, like her bucket list where she wants to like gut city pensions and shit like that. She wants to impress people who will help her later, and I think she's going to move into state politics. But that's just my speculation. State of the city. That might be everything.
Good, because I got to pee.
Okay.
Got to fix them potholes.
Fix the potholes. Fix the streets.
Sherlock's going to help us out with that.
The state of our city is pockmarked, you might say.
It's definitely fucked up. The rents are too goddamn high. You can't buy a fucking house anymore. The tourists are all up in our fucking neighborhoods. That fucking sucks.
The state of the city is definitely... That's it.
It's no better.
We should build a wall. Keep the tourists out.
Crime is worse than
Make
ever.
Jefferson Parish pay for it.
And it could serve as flood protection, possibly also.
Whoa.
Could be like Huey Long building dorms and a football stadium.
And then we just nationalize every house that's been built in the last couple of years, and we make them available for real people to live in.
Yeah, we just solved this whole problem. Can the wall have solar panels?
Yeah.
Okay, we did it.
All right.
We resilience the whole thing up.
And we're going to reopen Jazzland.
All right, I feel better now.
Yeah.
So on that note, I guess we're going to have to stop this here because, we'll take a break.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and maybe we'll do a little Wheel of Mayors and then get on with it.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
I want to play Round Ball Rock again.
Not right now.
Damn it.
Now we're playing this game. Do y'all want to hear this? The results of this very important official poll that we took of Tim and them today.
Yes.
I didn't know we did that.
Yeah, we polled Tim and them on the mayor's race, and I think this is something that we're going to just do periodically from now on out.
The Hunger Downcast poll.
Yes.
We'll be like that Britain Elects Twitter account, but for the mayoral race.
Yeah, we'll be that good.
Yep.
Our accuracy will be precise.
Watch out, 538. We coming for you.
So as of this moment, there are 4 official candidates, but there's a 5th, and I had to jigger this poll in a way that incorporated the 5th candidate to the detriment of one of the actual official candidates. So this is a weird poll result, but you'll see what happens is we had 27 votes, and the leader in our poll is the non-official candidate. Karen Carter Peterson actually took 41% of the vote. As of now, it's still open, so this may change.
What is the sample size?
27 votes on
Okay.
Twitter of people who followed Hunger Downcast.
Okay.
So you can imagine that is
It's
basically
a accurate population.
absolutely. It's a great sample.
Yep.
So Karen Carter Peterson has 41. Latoya Cantrell is in second with 33.
Just say Latoya.
Latoya.
Yeah, there's no need to put Cantrell. The
Like-
billboard says Latoya.
Desiree Charbonnet has 19%.
D-Charbs, according to some people very influential to the Hunger Downcast. D-Charbs.
I'm going to write that down because I did not know that was happening. D-Charbs.
D-Charbs.
I will not.
Latoya.
Okay.
No, I'm not on board with any of this.
Okay. And
KCP.
coming, pulling up the rear, like with a really, fighting chance there is Michael Bagnaris with 7%.
Mikey Bags.
Yeah. I didn't put Scarlock in there because you can only put 4 names in the poll. And Karen Carter got into the race, or didn't get into the race, but she was in the news today, and I thought, well, we need a poll with her in it.
You're already slanting it towards her.
Unfortunately, Twitter isn't the greatest place in the world to take scientific data from.
Yeah.
So that means Bagnaris got, 1 vote?
Probably. Well, I did allow for anyone who wanted to vote for Skurlock to to add us with a write-in.
Right.
And we got one vote, and it came from Reverend Vargas.
Jackass.
Because fucking...
Who said, Skurlock, these potholes are too much, all caps. So
Sad!
Right. So that's where that
I mean,
stands
he's
right
running on a pothole platform. Potholes and monuments. I met him once.
Did you?
He came in the gallery one time. Do you know the boat parade that's been canceled and started up a couple times on Bayou St. John?
Yeah.
And how it made a little bit of like international news because the girl who forms it said that she wasn't going to do it this year because of Trump, but really she's not doing it because it's a huge pain in the ass. It's kind of like Rising Tide, you know. Just stop doing it because it was a fucking pain in the ass.
Right.
And then we all just said, well, 10 years seems like enough. We covered everything. But it was really because nobody really wanted to do it anymore. She dated him. They were a couple for a little while.
Okay.
And she came in the gallery, and they walked around and looked around and stuff. And she's like a artist. She's like somebody in the artistic community here. Like, you ever watch Muses Parade and you see the bikes that come by that have like triceratops and shit?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like she makes those.
Is this Katrina
like
Breeze?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
They dated.
I knew about this.
They were a couple. For
I knew,
a while.
in fact, they got married kind of on the Out to Lunch podcast at Commander's Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's on like during the middle of the day on WW.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That happened like on the radio one time?
They pretended to get married.
That's why I think, because she seems to be a troller, you know, puts on shows.
I mean, she calls herself Katrina Breeze.
Right. She's having a lark with people.
Yeah.
So I think he is too. Like he's just doing. This is all a big joke.
Well, let's revisit that in a minute because I really wanted to do this to introduce our brand new segment.
Oh, sorry.
That Allie may have the music queued up for. I don't know.
It's not music. It's us actually spinning this gigantic wheel.
We have a wheel
in front of us.
You want to
if you look deep into it, you can see the middle of the universe.
Okay, but no, this is important. Is this the wheel or is this the music?
The wheel.
Okay, so this is
we established that before, Jeff.
The segment is called Wheel of Mayors.
Wheel of Mayors.
So what we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel, and whatever the wheel lands on, that's going to be the mayor that we talk about, the mayoral candidate, I guess, that we talk about this time.
All right, you ready?
Right, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to spin it.
Come on.
And we have hit Karen Carter Peterson.
KCP.
Oh, the non-official, official, not official, but kind of official, but not official candidate.
Not official candidate who is leading the polls today.
Wait, our poll that we ran on?
Our poll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's old school New Orleans. She's got a hyphenated name. She goes all the way back since before the storm and all that shit. What about that Karen Carter Peterson? Tell us about her history, Jeff, because you live for this fucking shit.
So Karen is in the news today because all of a sudden, out of the blue, she went from being a person they speculated about running, would be a candidate, to they then decided she probably wasn't going to be a candidate, to all of a sudden today she's probably, definitely, maybe going to be a candidate. It just comes out in Gambit that she's leaning towards it, and they went and actually
close, I think was the word.
They asked her, and she said she's taking it very seriously.
Yes, very seriously. This is not a drill.
Right, in the way that
not a joke.
In the same way that Carl Arredondo takes every tropical storm seriously, Karen Carter.
And he will yell at you on social media about how you're not taking it seriously enough.
That's right.
That's why you had a pen from Carl.
That's right.
Like, no. Fucking Carl.
In the same way
he's trying
you
to
should
be
not
relevant.
be making jokes about tropical storms.
He's desperately trying to be relevant.
So she says she told Gambit she's taking very seriously she said that a lot of her friends have encouraged her to run. And
her friends, her moneyed interests, basically.
She has been, quote, encouraged by many friends to enter the race based on the current announced field.
My favorite part of this article is that she had to have a little sit down with her, quote, dear friend, LaToya, just to let her know that, apparently all of their mutual friends perhaps are encouraging Karen Carter Peterson to get into the race.
Don't let LaToya run. Don't let her run.
So wait, friends don't let friends run for mayor, do they?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can be friends and also just not let this get in. I don't know.
Hey, don't let this. Hey, guys.
I think if I was running for mayor, Jeff, and you came to me and said, "Hey, do you think I could run for mayor too, Lance?" I'd be like, "Fuck off, bro."
What kind of friend is that?
Like, no, man.
I mean, if you were running for mayor of Varg and I went and said, "Hey, man, let's get lunch," you'd be like, "We don't usually eat lunch, but okay." And then if I said, "I just wanted to let you know because you're my dear friend that all of these other people with money are encouraging me,
Pat, Jeff,
to get into the race.
Jeremy are all thinking that maybe I should run for mayor." I'd be like, yeah, I'd be in my feels a little bit about that.
Yeah, you'd be a little pissed.
That'd be a dick move, I think, by you and my friends.
And
I'd be like, all by myself. And I'd be like, none of y'all are getting special contracts when I become mayor.
It's got to sting LaToya because not only just that, but also it's bigfooting her a little bit.
I don't understand this verb.
Well, so Karen Carter Peterson has been in politics in New Orleans longer than LaToya has been in politics in New Orleans.
Right.
And LaToya is, at least her brand is, that she comes from the post-Katrina neighborhood association,
Broadmoor.
grassroots kind of
straight out of Broadmoor,
New Orleans almost type of politics, whereas Karen Carter Peterson has a long history of old school, like coming from
bold school.
Coming from bold school,
she's bold school.
She's a bold school politician.
She's part of the what is known as one of the acronyms, the BOLD organization.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is she's currently a state senator, and she is the head of the Louisiana Democratic Party. She's actually just been...
They're doing great.
Yeah, I was about to say, that doesn't help.
And she's moving up in the DNC. Like she's
a vice chair at the DNC.
Right. So she's got a lot.
And fuck them.
She said that she will resign from the state party chair spot if she were to become mayor, but she would keep her vice chair at the DNC.
Yeah, so she has to wear a lot of hats, and that's why a lot of people thought she wasn't going to get involved in this because she's got too much other shit going on, and she
might not get involved.
She's almost too big for it, but suddenly she's in. And this comes on the heels of an article that came out in the Advocate like last week or the week before, where they were saying basically like, "Yo, what's up? How come there's no candidates for mayor? Like, there's only like these 4 people," and they were kind of looking into why. And one of the reasons is there's a lot of like potential donors holding back money from people. It's like they're waiting for something else to happen or another shoe to drop. And this might be a pretty big shoe.
It could be.
So, I mean, there may be more. But at the outset of this, with the field that we're looking at, you had to think that LaToya would have been the front runner. And in fact, Vern Kennedy ran a poll where LaToya was the front runner. Mm-hmm. Karen Carter... She eats into a lot of LaToya's base, and she also pulls with her more. So it does affect that pretty heavily, and she really does kind of turn the whole field over if she gets in. We'll have to wait and see, but it sounds like she's running in.
Yeah. Should we spin the wheel again?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I can't wait. Nope, come on, no whammies. It's LaToya Cantrell.
Oh,
just
shit.
LaToya. Just say LaToya.
LaToya. So LaToya is the spurned friend in this scenario now, maybe.
Yeah.
She's been working so hard. Of all of the candidates, like the announced candidates and the unannounced candidates, she has been the one who has been in the news as much as possible. She's been out front. She's on her listening tour. You know, that's what everybody does. What you do? You go listen.
You get out there, you kiss the hands, you shake the babies, you do all of that.
Yeah, she's been the most quotable. She's been the one who you hear from more often, and it also has to do with the fact that she's currently sitting on the city council. Mm-hmm. So, like, she's a lot of the more recent issues she's had a hand in. She's got a stated position on. One of them being, like, the Airbnb thing that we just complained about in the last segment.
Yep.
LaToya did some interesting things with it, actually. She ended up supporting, or voting for Susan Guidry's amendment that would have made the thing more palatable. It was at a point where they knew it was going to fail, so, like, she just kind of played both sides of the fence with that.
She's playing both sides.
What is that?
That's Leanne Cannizzaro.
No, it's Sean Connery.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're playing both sides.
But this is kind of like... So people don't... I don't trust LaToya, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
That's no big deal. Grass is green, sky is blue.
I mean, I think this is the problem with all of them, is that I have no idea what their platforms are. Like, what do they want to do over the next 4 years? Do they want, like, are there things that, like, concrete things that they want to achieve? Are there, or are they running to, like, continue the trajectory that we're on right now? Because that's concerning. Like, and LaToya's been on the council for a long time, and it's like, what does she want to, like, why is she running? Is she running because she wants to be mayor, or is she running because there's something that she wants to achieve? And I don't know the answer yet.
You can see, like you said, you can say that of all of the candidates. They're playing it really close to the vest.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems with having this really narrow field, is that everyone's just playing numbers. Like they're looking at, well, this person's base is X, this person's base is Y, and if we only have 4, then we there's only these pools, and if we just kind of like, if we don't say anything. Mm-hmm. What do the numbers look like for us? And so that's why I keep saying we need more candidates. We need to make it less predictable.
Manny Chevrolet Bruno needs to make his fucking appearance.
Well, other shit could happen, but I'm not even talking about that. I mean,
Brad Pitt, Sidney Torres, Sean Payton.
I would like to see more viable candidates, more like serious candidates who, like, someone running on an actual change platform, or who's like speaking more directly to, isn't like just speaking in platitudes.
I would like that. But I also have enjoyed and respected the number of single issue candidates in the past. Like, you remember Jonah Baskley, the comedian, who was also disabled, and he passed away a few years ago. Yes. But he ran on a single issue platform of make the St. Charles streetcar line accessible by running a couple of the Canal Streetcar cars on it, so that people with wheelchairs can use the streetcar. And I was like,
so he had a problem and a solution.
Exactly.
That's what you need.
Yeah. Even though I wouldn't say, he was running to win, he was running to get his issue out there, and I respect that.
Well, and also, it turns out that they finally won with that.
Yeah, they did.
Kind of, anyway.
Because it's such a fucking easy idea. Like, why? You'd have to be a total dick not to run a fucking, after that has been presented, not to run a fucking Canal Streetcar.
No, they had to lose in court. They had to go to court.
They had to go to court, and it only took them like 8 years to...
Oh, Jesus. Why'd they do that?
And their solution
What dick did that?
Their solution is incredibly stupid. Their solution is they're going to run one accessible streetcar on the line, and you just have to go out and catch that one. If you're
do you at least know when it's coming, or do you just have to sit out there?
No, you never know when the streetcar's coming.
That's true.
But that is kind of, that's Jonah's legacy in a sense. So
yep.
It does make a difference if you kind of are a single issue candidate, or if you're somebody who like has something different to say. You can shake up the race.
So LaToya is running on I'm LaToya.
Yeah. But she's also...
Is she going to be Mitch too?
She's the inevitability candidate, right? It's like Hillary. It's like it's her turn.
But what's interesting is that because she's on this listening tour, and because she's always on the news, and someone's always able to ask her questions about stuff, she's already had to flip-flop on an issue. She said,
I don't care about flip-flopping.
Okay.
It doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me. People are allowed to change their mind.
I actually agree with that.
I do
It's
too.
one of the most ugliest parts about politics.
Well, and I think it's a part of politics that is totally dead in the Trump era. Like,
Right.
who the fuck cares about flip-flopping after whatever the hell has gone on in D.C. for the last year?
Yeah.
I mean, flip-flopping is over.
Yeah, it says...
Okay.
It was used to kill John Kerry, and then it died.
Yeah, well, it was a fucking... Anyways, so what is different about KCP and LaToya? Is there anything different, or are they the same person? This is just going to become an Ask Jeff.
I have things to say, too.
Okay. What is different about LaToya and KCP? Shut the fuck up, Jeff.
I'm going to let Jeff answer this one first.
Okay, I like your style.
Peterson has a larger base than Cantrell. She's got more, what is it, the nullier than thou cred almost. Like, she's got more of that.
KCP does?
Yeah, than LaToya does. Because LaToya's a newcomer. Not really. She's been here for, longer than Allie's lived here. So she's been here a long time. But she's
wait.
This month, by the way, is my 10th anniversary month of living in New Orleans.
Right.
So.
Respect.
So think
I've reached my decade month, or my decade mark.
Congratulations.
Right? Thank you. I think also Karen Carter Peterson is much more tied in with the National Democratic Party than
and
LaToya
we all
is.
think they suck.
Well, not all of us. I do.
I do. Jeff.
I don't
think they suck?
It's more a question of relative strengths and what kind of access you have to fundraising,
access and influence,
get out the vote efforts and fundraising and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives her a hand.
But all the mayoral candidates are running as Democrats, so
yeah, but
except Spurlock, probably.
Yeah, but
Spurlock or Skurlock?
Spurlock?
I don't know. It's Skurlock, I think. But it might as well be Spurlock.
It's a Paxton Pullman situation here.
We'll get to him in a minute. Let's
Skurlock.
Let me just add this one thing about LaToya before we get out of this, and it's the thing that she
nothing has been settled about her. No.
The thing that she flip flopped on.
That's the point.
Was the question of whether or not we should elect the police chief. That's something that a couple of people have floated.
I don't care if someone changes their mind on that.
Yeah, no, okay, but here's where I'm going with it. A couple of people have been behind this. J.P. Morrell's been pushing it a little bit, and some other people have been thinking that maybe we would have more accountability if we elected a police chief as opposed to having the mayor appoint the police chief. And I'm uncommitted on this, and Pat just screamed no from the other room anyway. But so.
He could have been reacting to something on his computer screen.
No, he might be right. I'm undecided.
No, he's not reacting.
I'm undecided. I would like to go vote against the police chief if I had a chance to, but that's I haven't decided how I feel about it. LaToya,
we elect the sheriff and we still have Marlon Gussman and he sucks.
Yeah, and we elect the mayor.
But the other guy sucks too.
So,
that was a Skurlock situation.
Right. Anyway,
Paxman Pullman. KCP LaToya, Skurlock, and Gussman, and whoever that other guy that was that ran against him, that was basically the same fuckers.
So when she was first asked about it, she took it she really thought it out and she talked about it a lot. She said, "Well, we should consider this because of it might be different. It might be something to experiment with and all that stuff." And then a few months later, she changed her mind and said, "Well, no, I'm going to be the mayor. I'm going to appoint the police chief," because I think that she realized, wait a minute.
That means that I'm going to be able to...
It's a huge power of being mayor.
Right.
It's a big deal.
I want to be the mayor. I want to decide what this is. And when they asked her spokesperson about it, her spokesperson, David Winklerschmidt, said she did think about it, and it's not something she can get behind now because we have a crisis on our hands. So we're in a crisis, apparently.
Oh, so... We like democracy, but not in crisis mode.
Right. We don't want to talk about hard things that might or might not be good ideas because it's crisis.
Do other cities do it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Other cities
and
do it.
Works.
It works or doesn't.
Shown?
It doesn't. There's no. I can't tell you what the data would say about one thing or another.
All right.
It's different, right?
Because it doesn't seem like crime ever is any different.
No.
It always just seems exactly the same. There's variances, but no city has ever solved a crime problem.
I don't know about that.
Who did, and what did they do, and why can't we do it?
Well, I think in most major cities in the United States, other than Chicago, New Orleans, Baltimore, St. Louis, roughly.
Philadelphia.
But other cities like Los Angeles, New York, Washington, D.C. have seen incredible drops in crime since the peak of the
mid-90s.
But even before that, late 70s, early 80s, I think was the peak for a lot of places. And in New York's case, a lot of that was driven by there are two competing narratives. Narrative one is the narrative that Giuliani became mayor and instituted broken windows theory,
right?
And stop and frisk. We've stop and frisked our way to getting rid of crime in New York. I think narrative two says it's a combination of an incredible rise of gentrification and wealth building in New York that pushed a lot of people out, combined with what a lot of people call the lead hypothesis, right? If you look at the time curve of when we allowed leaded gasoline and when we stopped that, and then the age of people, because lead has consequences for brain development, including like reduced impulse control and things like that fit to violence. Actually, there's a researcher at Tulane who has been...
His name is Mielke, I think?
Howard Mielke or something like that. Yeah, and so there's... It fits the curve not just in the U.S., but in countries like Jamaica, which got rid of leaded gasoline much later than we did, that have seen these drops in crime rates as they've phased it out and as lead has been removed from the environment. So I think in a lot of cities in the U.S., it's a combination of like wealth and also
I
lead.
wouldn't even consider that solving the problem, though. I mean, it does it on paper, but it's not like everyone just started harmoniously living.
No, and it's
nice.
more.
It's more like resegregating America.
It's more complicated than that, and the real disturbing thought there is that gentrification solved crime. Well, I mean, it statistically made the more expensive boroughs of New York City, less crime.
Burning down the house solves your roach
by
problem.
shoving all of it out to somebody, made it somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
So that's not a solution. That's not a thing that helps people.
But like we talked about last time, you can't prevent, like, police don't prevent crime, they solve it. And so I think in some cases, actually solving crime, like, some people commit crimes over and over again, and if you get better at solving crime, then you can stop the crimes that they would have otherwise committed if they hadn't been caught.
Right.
So like, rapists are a great example. So, like, a lot of cities, once they started testing their backlogged kits, they realized, we actually just had, like, we thought maybe we had 1,000 rapists, but we actually just had 100, and they did 10 rapes each. Things like that. So I think that, as we get better at solving the actual things that happen, even though it's backwards looking at incidents that have already occurred, you can still
pattern recognize. And
I mean, so
do
the
practical.
The numbers
steps
to look at are not necessarily like the murder rate, but the case closing or whatever. What is the term for it? But it's the
the closure rate,
something
right?
like
or
that.
Something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Clearance rate.
Thank
you, Pat.
Let's spin that wheel. I have to pee. So y'all don't stop the fucking tape. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, wait. So you go, and I'm going to say one more thing about LaToya while you're going.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
All right. There's this other thing going on where criminal court is being sued over the debtor's prison issue, where bail is too high, and people are being thrown into jail specifically because they can't meet the bail, and it's just
because cash bail is morally repugnant,
right?
Yeah.
And one of the worst offenders and one of the defendants in this lawsuit is
Judge Harry Cantrell.
Right.
Who is
LaToya Cantrell's father-in-law.
That's right.
And
so I wonder what LaToya's position on cash bail is.
Yeah, I would love to have her have to address this.
I would love to too.
And I already know.
I need to get more educated on the issue, but
I already know that people are going to say, well, it's unfair to hold LaToya responsible for, the actions of her father-in-law.
Which is true.
Which is, I'm in sympathy with that. But also, well, so what do you think? Like, do you really think that...
I would hate, personally, to be held responsible for the opinions of my father-in-law, so I get it. Yeah. Nobody wants a world in which this is true.
No, I totally agree. But, it's an issue that matters to people. Like it's the criminal justice system applied to the inequalities in New Orleans, and
Yes.
I think that's something that the next mayor of New Orleans really should address.
Yeah,
And
between that, the public defender system, all of the shit going on with the district attorney, like the next mayor is going to have to pay a lot of attention to this stuff and be an active, be an advocate for the people instead of just try and pal around with Canizero or whatever it is.
And so it's just another example of like a lot of the stuff that none of these candidates has addressed yet, and Cantrell is one of them who hasn't.
No, I feel like the logical part of my brain says it's too early for them to get into issues yet. But on the other hand, like, I would hope that we would be living in a world where the issues drive them to get into the race in the first place.
Yeah, you would think that.
That, like, I think that I can work on this thing, and that's why I'm running for mayor.
Right.
Like, that's what I would love any of them to lead with, but they're not.
No.
So
Spin that wheel.
all right.
Ooh, it's getting really exciting now. Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of exciting, Mr. Excitement himself, Michael Bagnaris.
Oh, it's lit!
Mikey Bags.
Michael Bagnaris, who got one vote in our poll. He's there.
I think he probably would have had a little bit more momentum if he had done jack shit against Mitch. Like if he had considered his run against Mitch the preseason and really made some sort of impact instead of just, what the fuck was that about?
Somebody had to run against Mitch that time. Nobody was going to beat Mitch that time.
But he could have at least, like, what happens in wrestling, y'all, is you got a star, right? Like, let's say Stone Cold Steve Austin, for example. And then you got a guy who wants to make a name for himself. So he'll challenge Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they'll have a series of matches in which Stone Cold Steve Austin will so-called go over. He'll win all the matches.
Okay.
But as a result of how well this guy who wants to be a star does in those matches, how much, what he says, how much he entertains people, however he, what a kind of a reaction from the crowd he gets, that sets him up for a future angle in which he will win the title or be a top guy. So Michael Bagnaris had his series of matches against Mitch. He didn't go over.
Okay.
He's still a mid-carder or perhaps even, and I hate to say this, what's called enhancement talent, which is a guy whose only job is to get his ass kicked by the stars.
I think that is definitely what he was the last time out.
But the point of it is when you get that, when you main event, which is what he did, he didn't put on a show. He didn't get them out of their seats and get it. What did he do? Nothing.
You can even describe his run last time in kind of those
That
terms.
is a wrestling term. I like your
His
style.
run?
Yeah, he had a run.
You can even describe it in those terms in the sense that it was a personal beef. You might remember
Because somebody passed him over for a judgeship or something like that? Or
I'll tell you what it was. You remember they were talking about building a new city hall. They went to move City Hall over into Charity Hospital.
Yeah.
And
Along with Civil District Court, right?
along with the Civil District Court, which would have required all the judges to agree to move over to Charity Hospital. But the judges
They said there were too many columns and they would get in the way of their sight lines in the courtroom, so they couldn't do that. Something like that.
You got to see everybody in the courtroom.
Apparently, it's impossible to retrofit. So I don't
A
know.
courtroom is like a fucking Guns N' Roses show. You got to have as little sight lines as possible. Everybody's got to see the judge.
For whatever reason, obstructed view or whatever, the judges didn't want to go to Charity Hospital. They wanted, and there was some kind of like beef between Bagnaris and Mitch over that. And his campaign was, in fact, Stephanie Grace the whole year called this the campaign about nothing, in the same way like
Seinfeld was a show about nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of was. Like, I think he didn't really have any, like, issue that he stood on.
Yeah, it was a bad angle.
Until, like, the last week, he promised to hire...
Like my seat in the courtroom with the columns.
Yeah, or WrestleMania, there was no fucking pay-per-view buys on that fucking election.
It came down to, like, the last week where he promised that he had a secret plan to hire 1,600 more police. And that was supposed to get everybody excited, and it didn't really amount to anything. And he's back this year, and he's got kind of like he sounds the same. Like he talks about hiring more police. Oh, I know what it was. He's going to bring back the retirees, bolster the police force that way by encouraging retired police to come back to the force.
Oh, God.
The Expendables.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
It's gonna be like that. That's right. That fucking movie. The astronaut movie with Clint Eastwood and Tommy Lee Jones and James Garner.
Right.
Donald Sutherland when they needed old astronauts for some reason.
And he gave this other speech during his kickoff event where he said, we don't take advantage of the port as a jobs creation tool anymore. We also don't make things here. We should be making nuts and bolts in New Orleans. And I think it was the term that he used. Like, as though, the mayor of New Orleans is going to reverse...
He's going to bring coal back.
Yeah, that's exactly what he sounded like.
What about the coal miners?
I mean, value-added manufacturing on import products has been in every economic development plan I've seen for the last 10 years. And we still don't have a lot of momentum towards that.
And
so,
but it's like, hey, great. It sounds like fun.
Right.
How? What is Michael Bagnaris' actual plan to make this happen?
He doesn't have one.
There isn't one.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for him anyways because I know his brother. State Congressman John Bagnaris.
Well, okay, so he also is from a political family, right? Yeah. So this is like...
But it's the same fucking family as Desiree's from. We're not going to spin the wheel just yet about KCP and LaToya are the same people. Bagnaris and Charbonnet, same people.
I would kind of say it more like the way Ali said, where we're not really seeing anybody who has an issue or a reason to run for mayor. They have more I should be mayor because it's my time and I am from this legacy. And that's what we have a lot of legacy candidates in the race right now. So maybe we should spin the wheel again.
Who's it going to be? I don't fucking know.
There's a couple left.
There is?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. We're not limited to 4.
The wheel's going to get bigger as this goes along, I think.
Just making Jeff's job harder. It's fine. He deserves it for saying he's going to do it in the first place.
Makes it easier, actually. What? Desiree Charbonnet.
D-Charbs.
D-Charbs.
Or Sharbs.
That's an awful nickname.
I'm not going to disclose on the air where I heard that phrase. I will tell you afterwards. I will say a listener of this podcast is the one who coined it.
So I think I have a couple things to say. I had never heard of Desiree Charbonnet before she jumped into the race, which maybe because I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention or whatever. But
it wasn't that. Nobody else had.
That's not true.
She has.
Jeff, you don't fucking count.
What I've seen so far is that she appears to be the Gentilly and New Orleans, the downtown candidate, whereas LaToya is more the uptown candidate.
Yeah.
She's got the yard signs all over Gentilly. Gentilly is Desiree territory for sure. And also she's raised a shit ton of money. 6 figures, but $600,000 type money.
Yes.
She's raised money out of town. It's one of the reasons why she couldn't come to the Indivisible Forum was that I believe she was in D.C. at raising money. It feels like she has a lot of things lining up for her, and yet I don't know what she's running on.
Desiree is a player, and we don't know what she's running on yet. That's what everybody's waiting for. And I think that in addition to waiting to see who else is getting into the race, I think that the most anticipated thing that people are waiting for really is what is the Charbonnet campaign about?
Right.
Because once we learn what that is, because there's a lot of muscle behind it, and there's I can fill in a little bit of the details here. I mean, she had been at the beginning of her career, she could have run for mayor before. She could have run for a couple of different
career of what?
City council offices and stuff.
She's
in
been
politics.
She's been a judge.
But she has been a judge she decided instead to run for judge, and she's been a judge for a while. But she's from an old family.
So previously she was behind the scenes a lot.
Well, previously
that's why we don't know who the fuck she is or what she's
people
about.
Know who she is.
Allie and I don't.
People who follow New Orleans politics know who she is.
So Jeff and other nerds.
I follow New Orleans politics.
Right.
I want Triumph, the insult comic dog, to come interview you and all your friends like he did the Star Wars nerds.
Okay, you guys ready for some trivia? Here's the first question. What substance was Han Solo frozen in? Carbonite. No, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. The correct answer is who gives a
Which button on the soundboard calls your mother to come pick you up?
Right. Yeah, that one. Go ahead, though.
So Desiree has she's a 7th Ward politician, like Allie was implying earlier. She's got the Gentilly 7th Ward downtown organization. The alphabet soup name for it is coup. There's life, coup, and bold.
COUP?
Yes.
Oh. That sounds.
It's one of the acronyms.
Revolutionary.
It does, doesn't it?
But not the fun kind.
The thing about coups is sometimes it's your guys cooing, sometimes it's not.
But she has a lot of people.
Sometimes you both go.
Sometimes you're all pigeons.
She also has behind the scenes, and this is where a lot of the money is coming from, like Ike Spears and probably Cedric Richmond and a lot of those people. She also has right now the leaning favor of a lot of labor, but there's a lot of wait and see on what kind of issues she actually
She's
gets
shadowy.
behind. Yeah,
Batman-like.
Well,
Batwoman-like.
So there's that. She also there was. I hate to recommend a Donna Columbus column, but there's a Donna Columbus column where
wait, is that woman that everybody just character assassinated a few weeks ago? Probably
with good reason.
I'm assuming, yeah. I did not ever think that she didn't deserve it, but everybody talked about how much they fucking hated her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And now Jeff is going to recommend.
Well,
she did say something right.
She knows some things.
No, she knows things, but she's also completely corrupt. Like she's
racist.
And racist, and she uses her column to promote
just what I heard.
Her clients, and she doesn't really disclose her relationship with her clients a lot of the time. That's the problem everybody has with her. Having said that, she knows things and she puts them in the column, and so it's worth reading the column. What she said about Desiree is that Desiree is lining up a lot of the the Central City ministers and a lot of the people.
Okay, that sounds like an acronym candidate.
Charbonnet is the candidate that everybody is waiting for to see what her campaign's about, because as soon as it has a message, it already has all of the infrastructure and all of the muscle that you could probably want to bring to bear. With this narrow field, and again, before Karen shakes it up, what I was thinking was that this race is 2002 all over again, where you have that old New Orleans power structure versus this new New Orleans type of tech bros and
developers,
and also kind of
in the real estate sense,
and clueless liberal whites and conservative whites, like the white vote. In 2002 it was Nagin, and this year it would be LaToya versus Charbonnet and kind of the old school New Orleans machine politics. And so this would be kind of a rematch of that. Unless that gets shaken up, that's kind of what we're looking at. Now that can be what we're concerned about is there's no there with it still. There's no issue. There's no what does it mean? What do they care about? And who do you get behind? Who do you root for in that situation?
I would really love to see a platform from anyone.
Yeah. They're all kind of feeling each other out. They don't know what their standing is, and they don't know what they have to go and get. So as soon as they can assess one another, that's when they're going to start making their play. And we'll see what that means as they come along. Do we want to spin the wheel again?
Wait, before we do that,
okay.
I do have one thing. It is apropos of nothing about D-Charbs.
Mm-hmm.
I got divorced like 2 weeks ago. I had to go to Civic Court building, right? I go there. The elevators are broken. I have to go to the 4th floor. I have to climb the steps to do it. The steps are very tall. Anyways, I get all my shit taken care of. I go back downstairs. The elevators are still broken, so I'm like, it doesn't matter. Going down the steps is easy. So I just start going down the steps. And I'm not keeping track of what floor I'm on, right? I just know I got to go to the bottom, and then I fucking walk out the fucking door, right? So I just go all the way to the fucking bottom. And I walk out the door, and I'm not on the 1st floor. I'm in the basement of the Civic Court building. Mm-hmm. And right there by the steps, I look up, there's a door. And it says, Desiree Charbonnet. And then right over it, like, there's a sign that's taped on there. It says, keep out.
You should have taken a picture of that.
I wanted to, but I knew that I was like, whoa, I'm not supposed to be down here. I'm in the basement of the Civic Court building. There's a mayoral candidate, a very mysterious looking door.
I would love to have
with a mayoral candidate fucking on there and a little piece of paper, and it says, keep out.
I love it.
And I was like, I want to go in there so bad.
What is
why do I have
doing in the basement, and why can't we know about it?
Why did they put her in the basement? Like, all the mysteriousness that y'all were talking about the whole time, I was like going, God, and yeah, she had a fucking office in the basement of fucking the Civic Court building.
You can't get into. She's got Morgus and Chopley in there with her, and they're like doing some shit.
Dude,
she's riding an exercise bike listening to Make Your Own Kind of Music by the Mamas.
That fucking place did look like there should be corpses just like pushed away in a corner somewhere. Like, it was all metal and concrete and dirty down there. And I felt like I didn't belong, and I got scared, and I went back up the stairs. And then I had to come back to get fully divorced, and I snuck down there to try and take a picture, and sure as shit, every time I went down there was a dude pushing a cart or somebody coming up the stairs, and I got scared, and I left again.
Desiree's got, like, she's got the mountain on a slab.
Yeah,
trying to reanimate.
There's a secret Charbonnet office in the bottom of this, in the basement of the Civic Court.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know what it's about. But keep out was on a piece of paper.
Well, thank you for breaking that news, because now we need to find out.
Send somebody down there.
Tim and M, if you work at Civil District Court, let us know.
What is Desiree doing in the basement?
I wouldn't have even noticed it had the elevators not been broken.
All right, spin the wheel and let's get it. It's fucking great.
I tried to take a picture.
Shit. I don't want to talk about Skurlock.
Spurlock!
Spur, skirt.
Hey,
fuck.
I know you fucking underestimating this motherfucker.
I literally can't remember what his actual name is right now. Is it Skurlock or Spurlock?
It's Skurlock.
Just call him Bouncy. He invented a fucking bounce house. That is a contributor.
I want to rip his top hat off of his head and light it on fire and then punch him in the face with it.
I almost got in an accident looking at one of his billboards. Like, I was driving and I looked over and saw it and I was like, what the fuck? It might as well have been a UFO over there. Because I was just like, ah! And then I looked back and I was like all over the center line and shit. And I was like, oh my God. Because it said, save monuments, fix potholes. And he had a top hat on.
Yep, that fucking top hat.
And I was like, whoa.
He looks like he's about to get into the rigid airship business, you know? like he's trying to sell you a ticket to London on a dirigible.
Yeah, like he's steampunk. He's the steampunk candidate.
Yeah. But not in a cool way.
No.
Oh, although I will say what you will about Spurlock. He's got a platform. It's a shitty platform, but he's got one.
Well, you know what?
And he's got a Hummer with some decals on it.
Of all the complaints we had about everybody tonight, he's the only one who knows what he's running on. He's going to fix potholes and bring back monuments.
Well, he doesn't say how he's going to do it, but he will tell you what he stands for.
Here's what we should do. We should get him on the show, and then just every couple times...
I don't want to talk to that guy.
We're going to call him Spurlock throughout and see
if
he corrects us.
All right.
Because you know he's not going to listen to this episode.
One of the interesting things that happened to Skurlock, I mean, everybody knows the backstory with him, so we don't need to go through the whole thing.
He invented the fucking bounce house.
He's the bounce house king, and he's got this weird he's just spending money being a rich asshole, and he's like a con man who's trying to redo Six Flags. That's what his story has been the last couple of years. And suddenly he's going to run for mayor, and it's just like, oh,
well, because he got sick of skywriting, so
right. Also, the skywriting guy.
He wasn't in the plane though, right?
No.
All right, good.
He hired the pilot and told him what to write.
But here's
that would have been way cooler if he was.
Would have been cooler if you did.
Been cooler if you did.
Amazingly, he like latched onto the fucking monuments thing because he's the white guy. I guess he has to latch onto the monuments thing.
Boy, if latch on is the new euphemism for getting arrested while protesting the removal of the Jefferson Davis monument, then yeah, he did latch on.
Suddenly realizing that it had been removed.
And look, don't tell me that somebody like he wanted to get arrested.
Oh, totally.
You can see him like banging on the fence and like. Just he's being a dick, so they will arrest him, and
so he can get in the news. Yeah,
right. That was the whole.
It was a stunt.
What happened with Skurlock this week is that the judge who is sitting his case had to recuse himself because just by the fact that he's a judge has a relationship with Desiree Charbonnet because she's also a judge or was a judge.
They hang out in the judge's lounge,
they were, like in the basement. He's part of the basement club, or whatever. And so they can't be associated with one another. And so Paul Sins, who's the judge, recused himself from the case. So they're going to have to go find a judge from out of town or something to come in and hear Skurlock's case.
The thing about the monument?
Yeah.
Oh, can't the cops just drop the fucking charge?
It's possible, but like. I mean, they can't. The case can't even move forward because apparently, if you are running for mayor against Desiree Charbonnet, you can pretty much do anything, and the judge the judge can't hear shit from you. So, again, we need more.
We need more candidates.
Right. Run for mayor. It's a get out of jail free card. Apparently,
one who isn't a judge.
It's a get your trial moved to St. Francisville for free card.
Right. Also, like, if you become mayor, you're probably going to jail eventually anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. Skurlock actually wrote to me.
Like you personally?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
You're the only one that does not have contact with Spurlock. Lucky you.
I wrote about him on the internet, like, the other day, and he didn't like what I said. I was just like,
imagine that.
All I was doing was repeating what I just said to you about him.
My theory about him is that he only talks to men because I know he's talked with Pat and gave him his card. I think he just refuses. He's taking the Mike Pence thing. He won't talk to women who aren't his wife or whatever. At least I hope that's true because I really don't want to interact with this man ever.
I could interview his ex-girlfriend, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm sure we should get him on the show. Like,
no, Allie does not want to talk to him.
I do not want to talk to him.
I have his phone number now.
It'll be a fucking Freebird episode.
Yes,
with Skurlock instead of Allie.
He says,
"God, that sounds terrible."
It does.
I just got
Freebird episodes suck anyway. So
I was just talking about this stuff that I was just talking to y'all about with the judge having to recuse himself, and he's all mad at me. He says that like my comments are unfair and biased.
Bias,
not biased. Bias.
Okay. Yep. Sure.
And he wants to talk to me about it, and here's his phone number. And then he says that again, hey, and let's make New Orleans fun again because that's his stupid fucking slogan. And not have to deal with the senseless SINCELESS senseless SINCELES senseless murders,
what?
Poverty, potholes, affordable housing, and lacking education. Like I don't even like. It's not.
He's not confined by time space. Is what senseless means.
Something like
he's
that.
Like time means nothing to Spurlock.
Anyway, so
you can't say since Katrina or since 9/11 to him because time's a flat circle to Spurlock.
Something like that. I don't know why.
He's a victim of this senseless crime.
Senseless.
It never happened. Or it always happened. That's what he's saying. Yes. Either something always happened or it never fucking happened, man. Please, people, get into the fucking race.
Yeah, but somebody's got to run for mayor. Somebody else has to run.
Is there anybody rumored? Besides Sydney.
I mean, yeah, it's waiting for Sydney at this point. Not that that's going to make matters better.
He's just basically going to take the Spurlock vote.
No, he'll take a...
I did hear this today. Given that Karen Carter-Peterson is thinking about getting into the race, maybe Walt Leger would think about getting back in.
I don't know.
He was on the verge of running, and then he decided to pull everything back and not run.
I think he predicted that he was going to use something. Was he one of the ones?
Yeah, I thought that Walt and JP would decide not to run because the special
I'm
session...
the only one that remembers the predictions.
Yeah. So he did pull out. If Peterson gets in, then maybe that opens a window for him with like a splintered enough vote for Walt Leger to kind of have a path to the runoff.
It's always triumphant when you get elected through a splintered enough vote.
Right.
It sounds...
I would bet against
It's,
that. I would
what?
bet against him doing
Bill
it.
Clinton, 92, right? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
that's how
And
he won.
96, basically, yeah.
So maybe
Did
Ross
it
Perot
twice.
will run from
Yeah.
there. That'd be great. I'd bet against that happening, but somebody brought it up today, so I thought, Larry Larmy brought it up today. That's who theorized that.
Larry,
British Larry?
who's British now?
Larry, yeah. Larry, who is British now.
And he was bagging on us, like, sure glad I'm not in America, man. I'm like, motherfucker, you're in Britain. Don't fucking talk no shit like that.
Anyway, so that's Wheel of Mayors.
That was a good segment.
We'll have to play this game a little bit more in the future. It'll be fun.
Of Mayors!
I don't know if you guys want to take a break. We can go right into So-So if you want.
I don't have much.
Okay. In that case, maybe you should go first.
Well, it's not even fun what
Oh.
I did. I endured basically
Well, fuck it if you don't
a
have fun.
Samuel Beckett-like, just horrible, ongoing, lasting fucking thing called listening to baseball on the radio.
Oh, Jesus.
I hate baseball. I don't even call it baseball. I call it cricket. The baseball sucks. When something exciting happens, everyone just goes, "Whoa, yeah." It's not, anyways, the cruel gods of the universe made the Florida Gators face the LSU Tigers in some fucking shit called the College World Series, which is like the shitty World Series, but shittier.
I like this that you're forced to enjoy something that you hate. This is interesting.
Like I was just like, God, I have to fucking listen. I have to pay attention to baseball now because my team is against your team, Allie, your team, Jeff, and my business partner, Jeremy Abear's team also. And everybody else around here.
Yeah.
And I had to do it.
Because we like baseball here. Because we actually
no, y'all don't.
We've
Y'all
won
like
this-
it when LSU's there.
We've won this championship a lot, actually. It's,
Y'all don't
'cause it's kind of
fucking-
a thing we do.
Y'all don't
good.
support your fucking minor league team. Nobody here's been. Well, you've probably been to a minor league game, but nobody else.
You know,
does.
the,
They had to
Omaha,
change their
Omaha
fucking
Nebraska
name to
depends
something.
on LSU being in the College World Series specifically so that all the people who support the team will go up there and like spend a lot of money in Omaha.
Well,
It's a big deal.
Everyone in the crowd was from LSU, that's for damn sure.
Well, let's talk about everyone in the crowd. They fucking started to lose. There was, I don't even know much about cricket, but from what I understand, just from LSU's own fucking announcers, the dudes who were very dejected at the end of the game when they realized that they were going to lose, they like just had to admit that, like, yeah, that was a good call.
The
umpire made the right decision.
Runner interference on a double play that could have scored a run late in the innings. We would have. I think
It would have made no difference anyways because Florida lit y'all up in the next fucking what do you call it, quarter, whatever it's called.
I thought it was a
segments
question-
of time.
I thought it was
Inning. Florida lit y'all up anyways.
Yeah.
It would have made no difference, but what really made the difference was that all those fans that fucking go up there and spend all that money must spend it on fucking Miller Lite. or probably fucking Bud Light, considering how low class they are, they started throwing their fucking Bud Light fucking like it was like Hulk Hogan had just joined the NWO.
Well, it was a bullshit call.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was a bad call.
It doesn't matter because they still fucking ended up lighting y'all up the next inning.
I'm not going to complain about that.
But guess what? Y'all never fucking saw that because your fucking bullshit fans left those fucking kids on the field just to lose by themselves. We're not talking, these aren't pro athletes. These aren't guys who go out there and earn, and it's just like, fuck you, you're supposed to entertain us. You didn't. These are kids. These are kids in college.
Did you see the scene after the game?
Where they went to the bus and they cheered them and everything?
Yeah.
That's because our fans were fucking still in the stadium.
No, you didn't have any fans there. There were no Florida fans at the fucking game. All the LSU fans were at the game, and all the LSU fans were at the bus.
So does that mean that they were just going to fucking completely walk out on the last fucking inning where your guys probably, conceivably could have... Like, as soon as I saw your fans leaving, I was like, shit, they're going to come back and fucking win.
Hey, man, I didn't walk out. I stayed on the couch where I was, and I'm like, hey, man, we just got to get another 6 runs or whatever the hell
I am firmly on record and have always been on record in favor of staying until the very fucking end.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Until the band plays, let us break bread together at football games, at baseball, whatever it is. I have always been in favor of staying till the end. I always personally stay till the end, and I get really pissed when people leave early. So, my position on this is consistent.
I'm with you.
But also,
those LSU fans
also, fuck Florida.
Wait, you know what? In 1993 or 92, maybe. No, 93. Florida beat LSU in Tiger Stadium 58-3. It was like one of the Curly Hallman games, one of the terrible things.
A Spurrier team?
Yeah, where they made us play in the goddamn daytime in Tiger Stadium.
An abomination.
And I sat in the student section in the north end zone in Tiger Stadium and watched every goddamn second of that 58-3 game and had the worst sunburn of my life. I think I still probably have... That's why I have wrinkles under my eyes today, because of that particular sunburn.
Jesus. This is a narrative.
And it's because...
And you look at my eyes. You can see. There's wrinkle here.
This Curly Hallman did this to me.
You did this to me!
The age in my eyes.
That's right.
So you admit that the LSU fans are dicks.
We did not leave that game. That's all I'm saying.
Didn't, but these ones up in Omaha, they did.
I grant you that.
Okay, great.
I went to a game against Mississippi State, I think it was 3 years ago, when Dak Prescott was... And we lost this game, but we had a furious comeback.
In the last 2 minutes.
In the last 4 minutes of the game or something like that. And me and my friend Paul, who went to this game, were the last 2 people in the fucking stadium because literally everyone else had gone home already. And I'm watching them come back, and I'm like, it was empty. It was empty. I have never been so pissed off at LSU fans in my entire life because
they're horrible.
They worked their ass. Those kids worked their ass off to come back, and they almost made it. They were this close.
I remember that game. Man.
Oh man, I was so mad.
I didn't leave the couch the whole time either.
I do also want to say that as far as camera angles go, it's real easy to make a group of people gathered around a bus look big as far as a bunch of people in a stadium.
Yeah, it's like the Saddam monument.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the Eddie Jordan protest that I went to back in 2000.
Right.
My other observation on this game is that Antoine Duplantis is the most LSU name, I think.
I said that to Jeremy.
It's very up there.
Yeah.
Colby Delahousse was a kicker last year or something.
Oh, he's been the kicker. Yeah.
That's the most LSU name I can think of.
Colby football?
Something like that.
Colby football. Yeah, he's great.
I do want to add one more thing, that the curse of Hurricane Matthew continues. And y'all, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, now we have to go play in Gainesville.
Y'all are going to get used
for the next 3 years.
Get used
for
to
the next
this.
50 years, we have to play in Gainesville.
It's going to go on and on.
Yeah,
and I'm going to be there the entire.
I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be fun.
I still don't understand why Florida was pissed, because we should have just moved the game.
Let's not relitigate
that. Wait, I thought I had one more thing. Actually, I have 2 more things. The University of Florida is now in a elite club of only 4 schools that have won titles in basketball, baseball, and football.
4 schools.
4 schools.
Okay.
They're the only SEC team to have ever done so.
Yeah, Pat's about to be puking in the next room over.
The other 3 teams are other douchebag schools that y'all would probably expect.
Okay.
Basketball, football, and baseball?
Yeah. What do you think of
that? Miami.
Nope.
Southern Cal.
Close.
UCLA.
Yes.
Okay.
That's one. Think of other douchebag programs.
Oklahoma.
They are douchebags, but they're not.
Texas.
Nope. You're not douchey enough. The douchiest of douches. Y'all are under douching this.
I said Duke, but it has to be football too. Shit.
Allie, come on.
Michigan?
Yes.
Oh.
We've got 2.
Michigan's won a baseball?
I know, I remember when that happened.
There's one more douchey school out there.
Nebraska?
No, douchier.
Ohio State?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Everything is terrible.
The 4 horsemen of douchebag schools.
No, but
I admit that my school is douchey. Y'all's is too, don't worry.
At least Southern Cal hasn't gotten there.
Yeah. There's a lot of schools that are just not douchey enough.
That's great.
Wow.
That's what I did.
Michigan and Ohio State, huh?
That makes sense.
I want to die.
And now the University of Florida.
All
Even the losers get lucky sometimes.
Tom Petty.
He's from Gainesville.
Yeah. Totally is. That's true.
Everybody hurts.
He's from Athens.
He's close.
Sometimes.
You hear that, Pat?
Everybody cries.
I would sing an Atlanta Rhythm Section song, but I don't know any.
All right. I don't have anything for So-So.
You have nothing for So-So this week?
I haven't done anything.
Wow. It's summer, man.
Yeah,
You gotta go buy some mosquitoes.
Yep, I hide in the air conditioning this time of year.
Some roaches with
That's right.
I
I forgot that this is your hibernation time.
Yep.
You're in the bunker and just waiting it out.
Yep.
Endured the first 3 minutes in your car until the air conditioner gets out.
Allie, this is the time of year when Allie is the most hunkered down.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's fair enough.
Yep.
Well, okay. Maybe we'll come back to you in a second, but I'll do mine.
She said she has nothing.
We'll see.
Okay.
Let me check my calendar and see if I did anything.
Or something.
No, Allie does too much shit. I don't believe that she didn't do anything. But anyway, what is mine? What did I do? I did things.
Talk to Spurlock.
Well, no, I heard from him. Oh, you know what I did? I was on Drunk Saints History.
You didn't even plug...
I did not plug our show.
Nor did you get on his case about blocking me on Twitter.
Because you told me that he unblocked you.
No, I don't...
That was a lie.
No, he did.
Oh.
Okay.
But still, fuck that.
I did ask him to ask Nick Underhill to unblock me.
Who?
Yeah, Nick Underhill has me unblocked. It has me blocked.
Saints reporter?
Yeah. and we talked about, Ralph brought him up. And I said, yeah, no, you're right, Ralph. Nick is one of the best reporters. He's he does all the film, and he's like a coach. He's like a coach writing this thing. Hey, can you ask him to unblock me, by the way?
Nice.
It was fun.
It's anyone who I consider to be above me who blocks me. So I was just like, bro, come on.
But
it's like when Sydney blocked me.
Yeah, you told me that he unblocked you, so I didn't bring it up.
He did that block thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of a microaggression.
It is. You shouldn't do that to people.
Shouldn't block anybody.
Don't block people. It's stupid.
That's the dumbest thing. Because you know what you do when you do that? Okay, whatever. You don't have to hear from them. They don't have to hear from you anymore.
That's right.
You're basically saying, I'm going to shut you don't ever have to endure me anymore.
Right.
And you're like, fine.
No. That's not the world.
Yeah.
The world is, no, we're still both here.
When are you going to block me, then?
I'm not ever going to block you, girl.
Oh, okay.
I like fighting with you too much.
I like our fights.
Awkward. We're not pigeons, man.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Oh my god. I did do a thing.
Aha! I was right.
So you called that shit.
Yeah.
What did you do?
On Saturday the 17th was an event that I had been on the planning committee for, a fundraiser for SOUL, which stands for Sustaining Our Urban Landscape. They're a nonprofit that is working to reforest New Orleans by planting trees in neighborhoods like Mid-City and Algiers Point. And we had a fundraiser event, and I went, and it was a really great time. So that's the thing that I did.
Did y'all plant some willow trees on a neutral ground in Algiers Point? Because I know some were planted there.
I don't think we've planted any willows.
What do y'all plant?
Like sweet bay magnolia and other cypress and other native species that soak up a lot of water.
All right. Willows do too?
Okay.
They don't live very long, though.
Yeah.
So what happened to this fundraiser?
It was at someone's house, and we had an oyster bar, and we had a bunch of other food, and we had a silent auction, and we had a live auction. It was really fun.
There was a fucking guy going.
Yep.
What sort of things were auctioned?
A piece of artwork from the Dirty Boys gallery.
Oh shit! I totally set myself up, and I didn't even know
knew
it.
that.
No, I didn't.
No, you knew it.
No, I didn't. I swear to God,
You
I
forgot.
Did. That last beer went down real quick.
It was the lead off of the live auction. So
What was it?
it was
What did we donate?
that it was like the long
Voodoo dolls.
Yeah, painted.
Okay. Did it sell?
It did.
For what?
I think it sold for the list price that you had.
120.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Something like that.
Saving. I can get behind planting trees now.
I figure it fits.
I don't believe
it fits with your whole like using recycled wood thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's logically consistent with your ethos.
So I could easily be sold on. Let's get out and plant some trees, y'all.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yes. So thank you for your support.
You're welcome. I'd love to save wetlands. Is that what it was about?
Planting trees.
Planting trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're down with that.
Yeah. That's all I did.
It sounds way better than listening to a baseball game.
I watched those too.
You watched them? That must have been way better. You know it must be bad when Florida is beating LSU for the national title, and I'm still like going, maybe I'll listen to that classical music on WWNO. I was like literally like, I can't deal with this anymore.
You're just defective.
No, baseball's just boring as fuck. Or cricket.
I'm never going to agree with you on that. It's
You were like, this is good baseball, and the score was like 2-1.
I was having a good time, and we lost both. Like we got swept, and it was
Swept
embarrassing,
away like a hurricane.
like you would think. But it was fun. I like watching baseball.
I like watching baseball live way better than I like watching it on TV, but I think college baseball is an exception. Like pro baseball, like I ain't got 4 hours to just sit and watch.
Can't you just get fucking wasted the whole time, though?
In person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that must be fun.
Yeah. It's great.
Okay.
When are we going to the baby case game?
Never.
Oh, it's too hot to go now.
Okay.
There's a pool.
Summer's here.
You can't drink in the pool.
No.
Oh.
Bullshit.
That's terrible.
I know.
We need to get out of here because we are at like.
Let's not do the Jaguar.
You don't even want to
We
do
don't
it.
have anything new.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Nor a recipe minute.
Not even the blackouts at the Copper Raccoon because. All right, never mind.
I mean, I could tell you all how to make that ramen that I made.
All right, yeah. I'm down with that.
All right, Allie, recipe minute. Give us a ramen recipe.
All right. So you got to make broth, and to make the broth, you're gonna need to get go to the Hong Kong market or whatever Asian market is in your city or whatever, and get like 5 or 6 pounds of bones, like a mix of pork bones and chicken bones. And at Hong Kong market, you can do this for a very good price. And you want to get like pork neck bones because they have a lot of meat on them. Mm-hmm. And you're going to roast those in the oven for about an hour. And make sure you flip them so that they get brown on both sides. But while you're doing that, you're going to get a huge pot of water in your biggest stock pot on the stove, and you're going to put a piece of kombu or kelp in there. Because that is the basis for all Japanese broths is dashi stock, and you make that by soaking kelp in water. Okay. So you do that, you pull the kelp out, you can use it or you can throw it away. And then you can put some dried shiitake mushrooms in there. So you're layering it on one thing at a time. So you do kelp, you pull that out. You put in the mushrooms, you let those go for about a half hour, you pull them out. Then you put in the chicken bones, and you let those go for about an hour. and you're skimming it the whole time to make sure that you're getting all the gunk off. You use like chicken backs, or you can use you can just throw a whole chicken in there, whatever you want. You pull that out, and then you put all the pork in. And you put in like about a pound of really smoky bacon. After about 45 minutes, you fish out the bacon, because by then it's imparted all its flavor. You throw that out because it doesn't taste like anything anymore. And then you let the pork continue to simmer in there for about another 5-6 hours.
Wow. This is a project.
It is. Making the
I knew
broth.
there was something to it because it was fucking full of flavor.
Making the broth. And then you throw in like a couple carrots, an onion, some green onions, some more aromatics, and you let those go for like the last hour or so.
The last hour.
And then you strain everything out.
You could fly from here to like Seattle, and anyway.
It's broth. It takes a while.
Or if you're Phil Collins between Live Aids.
Right.
And then
you could do 3 Phil Collins Live Aids.
And then you strain it out. And what I recommend doing is letting it, straining it into a container and letting it chill in the fridge. And then you'll, if you've done your job right and you've got all that good like gelatin in there, it'll be really it'll look like Jell-O in your fridge. But you can heat it back up, and you make some noodles, get some fresh noodles from the store if you can. You put noodles in it. What I did was I saw, kind of like hard / soft boiled a couple eggs, put those in there. I also roasted a pork shoulder and shredded that and put that in there with the noodles.
This is the most epic bowl of ramen ever.
Yeah, but I ate it 5 times this week. So all that work, it made a ton of meals.
So we're getting a several day old ramen.
Yeah, I did
tonight.
this.
So that's the best one, though.
I did this last weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it sat there. It went through so many different. It's like a fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, that was the end of the pork, and we also used it for tacos this morning. So we've used all this stuff in multiple things by now.
That's great.
Yeah.
We had
sometimes when it goes in the fridge, it's always better when it comes out.
That's what we ate before we started recording tonight. It was fucking good. So
it saved me.
I'm not complaining.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but I was not ready. And that fucking shit got in there. It was like Yakumain type of resurrection type shit.
If you would like a real recipe for the ramen broth, I used the Momofuku cookbook. So if you have that or you want to Google it, that's what I used.
Great.
So,
okay.
Ta-da!
And that is, I guess, the recipe minute. Do you have
Ding!
Oh, okay. That's the sound effect. Good.
I don't have
Great.
it.
Good job. We didn't... Nice.
Wow.
Close.
I like it.
Okay.
Found object artist.
As per instructions, there is no jive wire this evening. We've gotten over
but y'all get out there, support,
and enjoy
some live local music.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we'll get
The brain-eating Abitas are back in the news, so...
They are.
Right, they are.
that whole thing.
They're doing their tour of Southeast Louisiana once again.
They're in Terrebonne Parish right
Yep.
now. They're doing.
They're doing a residency.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But I do have a theory that you can put brain eating in front of anything, and it's always terrifying. It doesn't matter how benign it is. In fact, an amoeba is the least scary thing on the fucking planet. But if you put brain eating in front of it, I'm like, that thing.
Brain-a-beating.
Brain-a-beating amoeba.
So anyway, does anybody have any final thoughts before we get out of here? Besides that,
who do you think is going to be the mayoral candidate that we get on here first?
Okay, well,
we're getting one.
We have.
We're getting one.
It's my understanding that we have feelers out. Do we have?
We have some feelers out.
Okay.
To one.
We
could easily get. You have feelers. One of them has put feelers out to you.
Yeah.
I know the brother of another one.
Right. So we could get.
D-Charbs is the only one that we don't have feelers out.
We can get some feelers at D-Charb.
All right.
We might get some fillers. So we
shouldn't call her D-Charbs if she gets here, I bet.
I don't know.
We are calling Skurlock Spurlock the entire time.
Absolutely.
Here's my prediction, that we end up having no mayoralty candidates on our show.
Okay. That's a safe one. I see you taking the safe money.
Hey.
She's got that mutual fund, the conservative one, slowly earns over years.
Yeah. I can see the future. And the future is none of us get our shit together enough to have somebody on the show.
I've sent the feeler out to the other one.
Oh, you did?
So she's got it.
Good. Okay, good.
They have it.
It's
sorry.
happening.
They have it.
I think it's going to happen.
I'm not saying that.
I got faith. I think it'll happen. We'll make it happen.
Okay. We can always, at the end, just get Spurlock just to
that dude does
spite alley.
He'll do it. It's fine.
I'll send Pat in my place since I think Spurlock only talks to men. So
Pat and Spurlock would be a great fucking interview. I would love to hear it. It would be like what's the guy on NPR? The old dude who has the lake. Like a Lake Wobegon moment,
Yeah.
Pat and Spurlock talking trash. Be great. Whole episode. A very special episode.
Why can't I think of that guy's name?
Garrison Keillor.
Johnny Gill!
Johnny Gill. Alright.
Jethro Tull!
Alright,
everybody.
They weren't here for that.
Happy 4th. Y'all, thanks for listening. You can catch us in the usual places. And we'll see you guys next time.